If we invest in these services early, we can delay placement in long-term care.
Arkansas lawmakers are considering a bill to help families of dementia patients. We'll have that story.
And are you ready for a gorgeous Monday? Temperatures going to top out into the low to mid 70s today. Plenty of sunshine. That's coming up.
And a live look outside in Fort Smith here at 6:30. Good morning to you there. 5 News This Morning is now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, hey, good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on 5 News This Morning. We got that new time change has happened, so it's like a whole new world we're waking up to this week.
Yeah, for some, this is the first time they're having to wake back up at this time again, and it's like, oh, it's a little bit
It hurts.
tired
We're
this
over here
morning.
yawning
It
during
is a bit
commercial
different.
breaks.
It feels a little bit different for the first couple of days, but I think by the time you get to Wednesday, Thursday, you're adjusted to the new schedule, and
Takes a
hopefully the end of the week will be better for you. I tell you what, though, even though you are waking up a little bit on the tired side this morning, beautiful weather today outside of a chilly start that we have this morning. Temperatures right now starting off into those low to mid 30s, but by the time we get to this afternoon, we're talking about low to mid 70s and plenty of sunshine. Really, last week we had a few days where the headline was some really strong winds throughout the day. Not necessarily the case for today, but tomorrow I think we have some strong winds once again, peaking right around 30 miles per hour, which can be a bit annoying. Two things I want you to look out for this week. First one coming Wednesday evening, late in the evening. Could be watching out for a few of those isolated thunderstorms. And then what you're going to hear all week on your social media platforms and here as well is at least the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms by the time we get to Friday. Again, important to highlight right now, just the chance of that. Still lots of information to learn the rest of this week what comes for Friday. Current temperatures out there right now, low to mid 30s in northwest Arkansas, mid to upper 30s and low 40s across the River Valley. Need that light jacket as you head out the door. But once we get that sunrise today, it is going to be absolutely gorgeous all day long. Daytime highs eventually reaching up into those low 70s by the time we get to the afternoon hours there in northwest Arkansas across the River Valley. Once we get that sunrise, temperatures really start to warm back up. Mid 70s expected for today. We'll be close, if not into the 80s for tomorrow. We'll talk about those storm chances coming up.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Well, developing this morning, we've learned the identity of the victim in a deadly shooting over the weekend in Rogers. It happened early Saturday on South B Street on the east side of Rogers. Police say that they received multiple calls about shots fired and arrived to find a man who had been shot. That man, we learned the victim, was 41-year-old Andreas Fonseca, and he was rushed to a nearby hospital where he later died from injuries. No information has been released about a suspect in the case, but police do believe that it is an isolated incident and there's no threat to the public. They're asking anyone with information to reach out to Rogers PD. You can read more on the case and follow updates on the investigation as soon as they're available on our free 5 News app.
And the former Bentonville Schools theater director set to appear in court today for a pretrial hearing. Micah Whitfield pleaded not guilty to sexual assault charges. He's accused of making inappropriate advances toward a student, including sending text messages and physical contact. The hearing is set for 8 this morning with the case still under investigation. And one of the people arrested in a raid of 3 Rogers massage parlors will be in court today as well. Chun-Li Wang faces charges of second-degree sexual assault and will go before a judge to be arraigned at 8:30 this morning. Now, the raid's part of the Attorney General's Operation Obscured Vision led to the arrest of 3 people. Court records link Tulip Spa, Stream Massage, and Ping Massage as a network connecting the suspects as having management roles at each. 2 other people were arrested in connection with the case. They'll go before a judge this month, with both of them facing charges of trafficking of a person.
Well, being a caregiver of a loved one can be very expensive, especially those who live with dementia. A bill in the Arkansas House would help alleviate some of that cost. It would offer tax credits of up to $3,000 to those who care for loved ones at home. It's the caregiver for the family with dementia that caught attention of David Cook with the Arkansas Alzheimer's Association.
2023, 155,000 caregivers in Arkansas, mostly are unpaid, who provided over 270 million hours of unpaid care. And the value of that care is $4.48 billion in cost savings to the state.
Well, there are some guidelines that caregivers would have to meet to be eligible for the tax credit. These include having an income of less than $50,000 per year. They must also provide proof of expenditures that are related to caregiving.
A new law in Arkansas aims to educate students about firearm safety. Game and Fish and the Department of Education will develop the safety instruction. Spokesperson Trey Reed says he believes the requirements in the act will make the instruction simpler than the 10-hour hunter education course.
This is going to be really basic. I mean, basically a firearm safety version of stop, drop, and roll.
Instruction will begin in the 2025-26 school year.
Well, President Trump continues to defend his aggressive tariff policies against American trading partners like Mexico and Canada. Now, this comes after a week of whiplash on Wall Street, triggered by threats to implement new retaliatory tariffs. This is against Mexico and Canada. This is set to happen on April 2nd, including on auto imports. The possibility of a government shutdown Friday has also added to the economic uncertainty.
I mean, the Democrats want that. They want to destroy the country.
The president is backing a Republican bill to extend funding through the end of the year. That includes an increase in defense spending. The Republican-led House is expected to vote on the bill as early as Tuesday. Meanwhile, Mark Carney is set to become Canada's new prime minister in the coming days after the governing Liberal Party soundly elected him as its leader on Sunday. The former central banker will replace Justin Trudeau, who stepped down amid declining popularity.
We will continue to be in a trade war that was launched by the United States for the foreseeable future. So Canadians should continue to buy Canadian, continue to stand up for each other.
Carney's win marks the first time an outsider with no real political background has become Canada's prime minister.
Well, federal investigators are at the site of a small plane crash in Pennsylvania. You see the video here. This happened just after takeoff, with the aircraft plunging into the parking lot of a retirement community near an airport on Sunday. All 5 people on board the Beechcraft Bonanza were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. Air traffic controllers could be heard saying that the plane had an open door and needed to make an emergency landing. Neighbors say they're thankful it wasn't worse.
Grateful it wasn't any closer.
They should be thankful no one was killed. I'm surprised, really.
Well, officials with the National Transportation Safety Board said they'll be working with the FAA on an investigation into what went wrong.
Well, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will meet with Ukrainian officials in Saudi Arabia this week for high-stakes talks as Russia steps up its attacks on Ukraine. The Kremlin's war on Ukraine has caused hundreds of thousands of casualties and forced millions from their homes.